Hey you guys, welcome back to Rocket City Yardstead. I'm Sarah and I'm so happy you're here. So I'm working on dinner for the night. We have a brisket on the smoker and I was trying to think of sides that would go good with that. And I took stock of what was in the fridge and what was in the garden and I came to the decision that we were going to make a creamy sort of Mexican style coleslaw. I also realized I hadn't showed you guys the cabbages that I harvested. So this is one of them. There were 6 total. We've already eaten one. And I weighed this one before I turned the camera on. And it came in at 1 pound and 11 ounces. So I think that's pretty respectable. And I'm pretty happy with what we got there. It's nice and dense and it's going to make some good coleslaw. So along with the cabbage, we have cilantro from the garden, a serrano pepper, and some chives. There will be other ingredients as well, but those are specifically the things I have out of the garden to use today. We're also going to go ahead and make the mayonnaise that will be part of the dressing. So let's go ahead and get started. If you have never made your own mayonnaise before, I just want to go ahead and do this in real time because it is so quick and easy and delicious. You need a cup of oil. You want a light tasting oil so that you don't have like, an extra virgin olive oil with a really strong flavor. So I am using a mild flavored olive oil. Then you want an egg. Yes, it does have raw egg in it. So some people only use yolks. I use a whole egg. I'm going to rinse my hands off here because I got some egg on my hands. About 2 tablespoons of vinegar or lemon juice. You could even use lime juice if you want. I am using a white wine vinegar. I'm going to use about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. If you don't know, mustard is an emulsifier, and so it helps hold everything together. About a teaspoon of salt. And I like to add a little bit of garlic. But this is really where you could season your mayonnaise however you want. If you want, some paprika in it, if you want extra garlic or fresh garlic, or whatever herbs you would like to add, it really is a sky's limit. So I'm going to use an immersion blender here, and you will be able to see just how quickly this mayonnaise comes together. Just like that, it's done. To start with, I'm just going to get this garlic and serrano, cilantro, and chives all chopped up and put into our bowl. We're just going to mix all of these things straight into the dressing that we're going to make right in the bowl so that we don't have to dirty up extra dishes. I am decidedly a big fan of making as few dirty dishes as possible. I don't always succeed, but today we're going to try to aim for the minimal amount. I don't mind if my garlic is a little bit big, but you don't want a giant bite of garlic in your coleslaw. And the cilantro. Cilantro is one of those things that I like to make sure it's spread throughout, but I also like to still be able to see it. So I don't want it too terribly fine. Just chopped up enough that we get a nice dispersal throughout the slaw. I would guess that packed, that's probably about a 1/4 cup of cilantro. If I had more in the garden right now, I probably would have put more, but you use what you've got. And that really fresh cilantro straight out of the garden tends to have a stronger flavor, I think, than when you get it at the grocery store. That makes sense because it's just been sitting for a while. Who knows how long when you get it at the grocery store. But I just went out and picked this just a few minutes ago. So it's still really at peak flavor. Okay. Pop our chives in the bowl. And then we're going to chop up the serrano quite finely. Ooh, it definitely has a kick, y'all. My eyes are already burning. So I do want to get this quite fine so that we're not getting too big of a slice. Even though it's a tiny pepper, it packs quite the wallop. Oh, see, like right there, we've got, oh, well, we're not going to use that one. I'll pick it up in a minute. Okay, so now that we've got all the herbs and the garlic in there, I think I would like to make the dressing next. And then we can chop up the cabbage and toss it all in. So we are going to eyeball this and start with about 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. I feel like when you're using a fresh cabbage, you have to sort of guess about how much dressing you're going to need. It's not like when you buy one of those packs, you know, like of coleslaw mix, and it's already a specific amount. I'm adding a little bit of organic lime juice to this since we're going with a bit of a Mexican-y flavor. A little bit more garlic powder. Probably about a teaspoon. And then the other 2 things I'm going to add to the dressing, spice-wise, are some ground cumin, maybe about 1/2 teaspoon, and we will see how it tastes, and some smoked paprika. I'm going to find a spoon and stir that all together. It also needs probably just a little bit more salt, but I don't want to add too much because we added salt to the mayonnaise. So this is, ooh, there went the spoon. So this is pretty thick. So once I add the cabbage, I may see if I need to thin it a little bit. But also remember, when you add the cabbage, it has quite a bit of liquid in it. And so it may thin the dressing out on its own. See, nice, beautiful, tight head of cabbage. I really am just super happy with how these turned out. I will tell you, harvesting them was a bit of an experience. I suspect there are some people in my life who would be sad that I didn't have the camera rolling, because there was caterpillar poop and slugs galore. And I was having a little dancing grossed out fit in the garden. I suspect if any of my neighbors were outside, they could hear me too, because I was squealing on occasion when I found a slug. But it was worth it because we have this beautiful cabbage. I haven't really seen that many slugs in the garden before, maybe just one or two. We had a very wet spring this year, and so I think that just brought out extra critters that aren't normally around. Drop that in there. Now, if you were making this, you could definitely cut it by hand like I'm doing, or you could get out your food processor if you have one and shred it with the shredding attachment. I just didn't feel like dirtying up more dishes, so hand shredding it is. And it's a little bit chunkier than it would be if I were doing it with the food processor, but that doesn't bother me. So now it's all in the bowl, and we're just gonna give it a stir and see if it needs anything else. And see how much cabbage we can throw on the floor as well, because I definitely just did that. So I am looking at this, and it looks like it's a little bit dry. And so I think I want to add just a little bit more mayonnaise, maybe a tablespoon or two, and a little bit more of the lime juice, which may be the rest of the lime juice. Yep. I think that just the right amount of mayonnaise and lime juice to get this to a nice texture. So I am going to grab a fork so I can give it a taste test and see if it needs any more garlic or chipotle, or not chipotle, cumin or paprika. It's really good, you guys. And it's going to sit in the fridge for a couple of hours so those flavors can marry, and I think it'll just get even better. So there you have it, guys. Just a super quick, simple, easy Mexican style coleslaw. Super easy for a weeknight. It throws together really quickly. Even quicker if you already have mayonnaise. If you just use a coleslaw mix from the store, you can make this even faster. But I just was using what I had on hand. So if you give it a try, let me know what you think. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.